let's get to JD Vance. I will be pausing in between to give my feedback, my commentary on what he has to say, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President JD Vance at the AI Summit, AI Action Summit. And I'm going to speed it up a
bit. The kind introduction, and I want to start by thanking President Macron for hosting the event and, of course, for the lovely dinner last night. During the dinner, President Macron looked at me and asked if I would like to speak, and I said, Mr. President, I'm here for the good company and free wine, but I have to earn my keep today. And I, of course, want to thank Prime Minister here this morning to talk about AI safety, which was the title of the conference a couple of years ago. I'm here to talk about AI safety for all of you for participating. And I'm not here this morning to talk about AI safety, which was the title of the conference a couple of years ago. I'm here to talk about AI opportunity. When conferences like this convene to discuss a cutting-edge technology, oftentimes I think our response is to be too self-conscious, too risk-averse. But never have I encountered a breakthrough in tech that so clearly calls us to do precisely the opposite. Now, our administration, the Trump administration, believes that AI will have countless revolutionary applications in economic innovation, job creation, national security, healthcare, free expression, and beyond. And to restrict its development now will not only unfairly benefit incumbents in the space, it would mean paralyzing one of the most...
Y'all saw that lady sleep? Did y'all see that lady sleeping? Where is she?
AI will have countless revolutionary applications in economic innovation, job creation, national security, healthcare, free expression, and beyond. And to restrict its development now will not only unfairly benefit...
Y'all see her sleeping? Y'all see this lady sleeping? So much disrespect. Put some respect on our vice president, all right? This lady's all up sleeping in the crowd. I'm like, what are you doing, lady? What are you doing? Like, I tell you, no respect at all.
Incumbents in the space, it would mean paralyzing one of the most promising technologies we have seen in generations. Now, with that in mind, I'd like to make 4 main points today. Number 1, this administration will ensure that American AI technology continues to be the gold standard worldwide, and we are the partner of choice for others, foreign countries, and certainly businesses as they expand their own use of AI. Number 2, we believe that excessive regulation of the AI sector could kill a transformative industry just as it's taking off, and we'll make every effort to encourage pro-growth AI policies, and I like to see that deregulatory flavor making its way into a lot of the conversations this conference. Number 3, we feel very strongly that AI must remain free from ideological bias, and that American AI will not be co-opted into a tool for authoritarian censorship. And finally, number 4, the Trump administration will maintain a pro-worker growth path for AI, so it can be a potent tool for job creation in the United States. And I appreciate Prime Minister Modi's point. AI, I really believe, will facilitate and make people more productive. It is not going to replace human beings. It will never replace human beings. And I think too many of the leaders in the AI industry, when they talk about this fear of replacing workers, I think they really miss the point. AI, we believe, is going to make us more productive, more prosperous, and more free.
All right, so I hear so many people who are always talking about, oh, when the AI replacing jobs, right? Which I will say this, right? AI will contribute to replacing certain jobs. I'll agree with that, right? But are all jobs, like, and this is the part that frustrates me, right? Are all jobs meant to stay around forever? Because people are like, oh my God, like this job is no longer available. Like this job is going, okay, but what I tend to see with the close of one industry is an opening for a new industry. And from my perspective, from my usage of AI, I see so many different opportunities. And from my minor skill, just doing streams, like doing streams on YouTube, right? For me coaching people, I have the opportunity to use to implement so many different AI tools that helps me so much. So one tool that I use, right? When any meeting that I'm in, like for like coaching or consultation and stuff like that, I don't take notes. I pay for a service, which I wish I could have created it myself, but I pay for a service that follows me around and it takes notes for me. And then at the end, it sends me a summary. And then if it's a recurring meeting, it'll send me a summary like a couple of hours before the meeting happens. It's saying, all right, this is what we did at the last meeting. This were the action items, so you can get ready for the meeting that's coming up. You guys saw me do the content creation. So my belief is that for all these entrepreneurs, AI opens so many doors that where you used to have to pay someone who would do a half job, 3/4 job if you're lucky, because they don't care, they just want the money, right? Now you can control that, and then if you haven't done a particular way, you can train somebody to do that part for you. So whenever so in my case, AI replaced a job that I was never going to hire somebody to do, because I wasn't going to hire somebody to write all my descriptions, to create my titles, to create my thumbnails, or to create my, all that type of stuff. But I could train keep it in the family, train my video editor to become a social media manager, and teach them how to use the AI tools that I've developed in order to do more with less amount of time. And now you keep the money inside instead of having to go outside. So for me, like when people are like, oh, it's gonna replace this, I'm like, okay, well, are there gonna be other opportunities available? So as I was listening to this speech, I was like, you know what? I pull up the roadmap.sh. I look for AI engineer, prompt engineer, and it's pretty much outlining the course that we're taking in the mornings, right? So I don't care.
The United States of America is the leader in AI, and our administration plans to keep it that way. The U.S. possesses all components across the full AI stack, including advanced semiconductor design, frontier algorithms, and of course, transformational applications. Now, the computing power this stack requires is integral to advancing AI technology. And to safeguard America's advantage, the Trump administration will ensure that the most powerful AI systems are built in the U.S. with American-designed and manufactured chips. Now, just because we're the leader doesn't mean we want to or need to go it alone, of course. And let me be emphatic about this point. America wants to partner with all of you, and we want to embark on the AI revolution before us with a spirit of openness and collaboration. But to create that kind of trust, we need international regulatory regimes that fosters the creation of AI technology rather than strangles it. And we need our European friends in particular to look to this new frontier with optimism rather than trepidation. Now, the development of cutting-edge AI in the U.S. is no accident. By preserving an open regulatory environment, we've encouraged American innovators to experiment and to make unparalleled R&D investments. Of the $700 billion, give or take, that's estimated to be spent on AI in 2028, over half of it will likely be invested in the United States of America. Now, this administration will not be the one to snuff out the startups and the grad students producing some of the most groundbreaking applications of artificial intelligence. Instead, our laws will keep big tech, little tech, and all other developers on a level playing field. Now, with the President's recent executive order on AI, we're developing an AI action plan that avoids an overly precautionary regulatory regime while ensuring that all Americans benefit from the technology and its transformative potential. Now, we invite your countries to work with us and to follow that model if it makes sense for your nations. However, the Trump administration is troubled by reports that some foreign governments are considering tightening the screws on U.S. tech companies with international footprints. Now, America cannot and will not accept that, and we think it's a terrible mistake, not just for the United States of America, but for your own countries. Now, U.S. innovators of all sizes already know what it's like to deal with onerous international rules. Many of our most productive tech companies are forced to...
And I'll add this in, like, dealing with quote-unquote international rules. The time cost calculator app, which, you know what? I should figure out a way to add AI into the time cost calculator. That would be super cool. But that's besides the point. Just to get into the app stores, you have to go through I I don't even think I put the time cost calculator in the EU just because of the hassle of getting it into just the hassle of getting it into the EU, like whatever approved and stuff like that. It was, I'm like, this is stupid. This is stupid. I would rather not do business with like for a free app, right? I have to go through all this headache to get into. I'm like, forget it. It's like forget the EU. And what he's saying, what Vice President is saying right now, right, about like these foreign countries tightening the screws to do business with the U.S., like with U.S. companies. I say, you know what? They don't deserve our technology. Let them live in the Stone Age, or have some other company or have some other country develop it for them, and have them deal with that. Because the amount of like just in privacy laws and stuff like that, dealing with the EU is a total nightmare. Like just at work, right? In your jobs, if you're doing like your security training, and then you have to take these separate trainings for how to deal with data for the EU and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this is annoying. This is annoying, right? So I'm just saying. All right, let's keep going.
To deal with the EU's Digital Services Act and the massive regulations it created about taking down content and policing so-called misinformation. And of course, we want to ensure the internet is a safe place, but it is one thing to prevent a predator from preying on a child on the internet, and it is something quite different to prevent a grown man or woman from accessing an opinion that the government thinks is misinformation. Meanwhile, for smaller firms, navigating the GDPR means paying endless legal compliance costs or otherwise risking massive fines. Now, for some, the easiest way to avoid the dilemma has been to simply block EU users in the first place. Is this really the future that we want? Ladies and gentlemen, I think the answer for all of us should be no. But there's no issue where we worry about more than regulation when it comes to energy. And again, I appreciated the comments of so many at the conference because they recognize that we stand now at the frontier of an AI industry that is hungry for reliable power and high-quality semiconductors. Yet too many of our friends are deindustrializing on the one hand and chasing reliable power out of their nations and off their grids with the other. The AI future is not going to be won by hand-wringing about safety. It will be won by building, from reliable power plants to the manufacturing facilities that can produce the chips of the future. Now, at a personal level, what excites me most about AI is that it is grounded in the real and the physical economy. The success of the sector isn't just a matter of smart people sitting in front of a computer screen and coding. It depends on those who work with their hands. Even as robotics will change our factories, it will certainly make our healthcare providers better at treating disease.
And I agree 100% what he's saying, but I want to add this too, right? I want to add this as well. With all these data centers that need to be open, they're gonna need people understanding like networking to set up these data centers, knowing how to set up these servers, so like network engineers, DevOps engineers to deploy the software that's working on. Like all I see with what he's talking about right now is opportunity. Because there's going to be more companies that's going to be building more stuff, which they're going to need them. They're going to need software engineers, QA engineers. They're going to need DevOps engineers. They're going to be networking people, all this type of stuff, right? But the data centers that's needed, the energy sector, the energy that's going to be needed to provide power, like, and then where are these data centers being put, right? Think about different areas in the Midwest. There's probably going to be some in his state of Ohio. We saw that it's going. I think it was Arkansas that we read the other day. There's probably going to be some in like maybe like in the middle of the country, in the Midwest. I'm sure there's going to be like these data centers that are going to be popping open, right? So what I hear, while a lot of you out there, hear fear, you guys are scared. I'm like, I'm running to it. I am running to it. That's why now, like Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm learning how these large language models work. What can I build? My guy Don, always coming up with these new ideas. I'm like, Don, like, are we putting these things to use yet? The other day, Don sent me this really, really, really cool kids game, right? That he put together, where it helps him learn words and colors and shapes and stuff like that. And I was like, let's work on it. And let's add for kids who can't read yet, let's add a voice thing where it says choose the rectangle or choose the red circle, right? So I'm trying to work with them on that, right? But so many different opportunities that where, and back in the days, there were so many gatekeepers. So, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more tonight when we talk about the album, right? About the abandoned album. But so many different gatekeepers where they're saying, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this." But technology has freed us. Back in the day, there were only taxis. You could only take a taxi. Imagine in New York City or in California, right? Taxis. But not necessarily through AI, but through technology and innovation, somebody said, you know what? Let's build an app where people can order, quote unquote, a taxi, and they know who's coming to get them. They know what type of car they're going to be in. And now this opened the door for anybody to be able to work, right? So before you needed to be working for a taxi company, you need to have that $500,000 medallion, which was a whole scam in itself, right? Now we have Uber, we have Lyft, and then from that technology, it's like, oh, well, if we can pick people up and drop them off, why can't we do their grocery shopping for them, right? All through technology, not necessarily through AI, but this is the progression that led to this AI boom. One of the people I'm coaching, AI, like ChatGPT is their best friend. They even gave ChatGPT a name, right? And they're like, well, I have this goal. How can I achieve it? And AI will break it down, like all this stuff. And I'm like, good use. I don't know. All right, let's continue.
But it will also depend on the data produced by those healthcare providers, by those doctors and nurses. I believe it will help us create and store new modes of power in the future. But right now, AI cannot take off unless the world builds the energy infrastructure to support it. Now, it's my view that tech innovation over the last 20 years has often conjured images of smart people staring at computer screens, engineering in the world of bits. But the AI economy will primarily depend on and transform the world of atoms. Now, at this moment, we face the extraordinary prospect of a new industrial revolution, one on par with the invention of the steam engine or Bessemer steel. But it will never come to pass if overregulation deters innovators from taking the risks necessary to advance the ball. Nor will it occur if we allow AI to become dominated by massive players looking to use the tech to censor or control users' thoughts. And I'd ask if you step back a moment and ask yourself, who is most aggressively demanding that we, meaning political leaders gathered here today, do the most aggressive regulation? It is very often the people who already have an incumbent advantage in the market. And when a massive incumbent comes to us asking us for safety regulations, we ought to ask whether that safety regulation is for the benefit of our people or whether it's for the benefit of the incumbent. Now, over the last few years, we've watched as governments, businesses, and nonprofit organizations have advanced unpopular and, I believe, downright ahistorical social agendas through AI. In the U.S., we had AI image generators trying to tell us that George Washington was black or that America's doughboys in World War I were in fact women. Now, we laugh at this now, and of course it was ridiculous, but we have to remember the lessons from that ridiculous moment. And what we take from it is that the Trump administration will ensure that AI systems developed in America are free from ideological bias and never restrict our citizens' right to free speech. We can trust our people to think, to consume information, to develop their own ideas, and to debate with one another in the open marketplace of ideas. Now, we've also watched as hostile foreign adversaries have weaponized AI software to rewrite history, surveil users, and censor speech. This is hardly new, of course. As they do with other tech, some authoritarian regimes have stolen and used AI to strengthen their military, intelligence, and surveillance capabilities, capture foreign data, and create propaganda to undermine other nations' national security. I want to be clear. This administration will block such efforts, full stop. We will safeguard American AI and chip technologies from theft and misuse, work with our allies and partners to strengthen and extend these protections, and close pathways to adversaries attaining AI capabilities that threaten all of our people. And I would also remind our international friends here today that partnering with such regimes, it never pays off in the long term. From CCTV to 5G equipment, we're all familiar with cheap tech in the marketplace that's been heavily subsidized and exported by authoritarian regimes. But as I know, and I think some of us in this room have learned from experience, partnering with them means chaining your nation to an authoritarian master that seeks to infiltrate, dig in, and seize your information infrastructure. Should a deal seem too good to be true, just remember the old adage that we learned in Silicon Valley: if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. Finally, this administration wants to be very clear about one last point. We will always center American workers in our AI policy. We refuse to view AI as a purely disruptive technology that will inevitably automate away our labor force. We believe, and we will fight for policies that ensure that AI is going to make our workers more productive, and we expect that they will reap the rewards with higher wages, better benefits, and safer and more prosperous communities. From law to medicine, manufacturing, the most immediate applications of AI almost all involve supplementing, not replacing, the work being done by Americans. Now, combined with this administration's worker-first approach to immigration, we believe that a U.S. labor force prepared to use AI to its fullest extent will instead attract the attention of businesses that have offshored some of these roles. To accomplish this, the administration will make sure that America...
So, I'm going to add a little bit of my thoughts on this, ensuring that the labor force and stuff like that, right? I'm just going to add this additional perspective from me, that I think it's as long as they are willing, because there's a lot of people like, oh, I don't like this whole technology stuff. I'm not changing. And I'm like, all right, cool. Get left behind. See me? I am an adapter, right? When things are changing, I change with it. I'm like, all right, let's learn this new thing. How can we use it? Even like, I'm always trying, like, do I need to learn DevOps and Kubernetes? Yes. Yes, I do actually. Do I need it for what I'm doing now? No, but who knows what the future holds, right? Who knows if, let's say I stay in QA and then QA is evolving more into like this DevOps type stuff, or maybe because of what I'm learning, I get more senior role opportunities. I don't know, but I'm always I'm not working towards a certain aspect. It's the goal is to be malleable and to adapt to whatever the conditions bring, so that I'm not the one, because I absolutely hate complainers. Like, they just make my blood boil. When people are complaining, I start to get anxiety when I hear people complaining. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? Right? So I think it's a great initiative, but for those who want to adapt and to learn and to grow, because not everybody wants to do that. And for them, I'm not even going to tell you what I say. To people who want to stay exactly the same and don't want to make any progress, if you're complaining, we'll leave it. Let's continue.
Has the best trained workforce in the world. Our schools will teach students how to manage, how to supervise, and how to interact with AI-enabled tools as they become more and more a part of our everyday lives. And as AI creates new jobs and industries, our government, businesses, and labor organizations have an obligation to work together to empower the workers, not just of the United States, but all over the country, all over the world. To that end, for all major AI policy decisions coming from the federal government, the Trump administration will guarantee American workers a seat at the table, and we're very proud of that. Now, I've taken up enough of your time.
Question: How do you feel about it? Because you guys are always complaining about the education system, right? About, oh, it's so bad, right? Which I don't care about the education system. I think anyway, whatever. How do you feel about the government focusing more? What if the government says, all right, we are going to put in 90% of our resources into STEM, right? science, technology, engineering, mathematics. What if they said, all right, we're going to put a big focus on STEM. So that means now in school, they say, all right, for art, for music, for physical education, what other stuff they have in school, right? I don't know, whatever other activities they have in school. We're going to only allocate 10% of the funds to that, and 90% goes to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, right? So at let's say starting in kindergarten, right? In kindergarten, they are already pushing your kids towards a STEM-minded approach, right? Would you be in favor of that? Would you be in favor of the government allocating its funds, saying, if you want money for, if a state or a local school district wants money from us, 90% of what you do has to be focused on them. So that means your school's football team, it's such a great football team, but the money that we're giving you can't be used towards the football team. You guys need to raise that money on your own, get donors and sponsors, alumni, whatever, right? But 90% of the money goes towards STEM. So your kids are being exposed to STEM technologies. Like for my son, I have him these little baby books where it's already teaching you about I forgot what books. Let me look them up actually. I'll tell you the books that I got him when he was born. Let's see. Let me go here. And baby book. See if it's gonna pull up. I got him Robotics for Babies, an engineering baby learning a book from the #1 science author for kids. I got him the ABCs of mathematics. I got him Quantum Computing for Babies, Neural Network for Babies. Was there any more? I think that was it. So I got him those books, right? So imagine in kindergarten, maybe even pre-K, they're getting this stuff into their mind, right? So now at first grade, they're starting to show them how to use robots, how to, like, in a fun way that they're going to be interested in, but how to use these robots, how to program those robots, right? And maybe how to get into, like, find a way to start teaching them programming and stuff like that, right? So would you be interested in that, as opposed to art, drawing and stuff? I remember like, I forgot, maybe it was third grade, we were doing like these clay stuff. I'm like, what? My clay pottery type design came out totally bad, but I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I like, this is, we have to put in one of those little ovens. I'm like, why am I doing this? In third grade, I'm like, this is stupid, right? For me, right? But how would you feel if they said, all right, we're going to less money on art, less money on music, less money on history, less money on physical education, right? If you want your kids to be an athlete, put them in AAU, put them in put them on the soccer team, like wherever, put them on a city basketball team, right? We're not funding that. How would you feel about that? How would you feel? I want to know. Would you want the Department of Education to focus more on STEM, or we're just like, no, let's do 50-50. 50% STEM, 50% all the other stuff? Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll put a poll for it tomorrow. I should have put a poll for it. I didn't think about it till now.
So I'd like to close with just a quick story. This is a beautiful country, President Macron, and I know that you're proud of it and should be. And yesterday, as I was touring Les Invalides with General Gravette with my 3 kids, he was kind enough to show me the sword that belonged to America's dearest international friend from our own revolution, of course, the Marquis de Lafayette. He let me hold the sword, but of course he made me put on the white gloves beforehand. And it got me thinking of this country, France, and of course of my own country, and of the beautiful civilization that we have built together with weapons like that saber. Weapons that are dangerous in the wrong hands, but are incredible tools for liberty and prosperity in the right hands. I couldn't help but think of the conference today. If we choose the wrong approach on other things that could be conceived of as dangerous, things like AI, and choose to hold ourselves back, it will alter not only our GDP or the stock market, but the very future of the project that Lafayette and the American founders set off to create. Now, this doesn't mean, of course, that all concerns about safety go out the window, but focus matters. And we must focus now on the opportunity to catch lightning in a bottle, unleash our most brilliant innovators, and use AI to improve the well-being of our nations and their peoples. With great confidence, I can say it is an opportunity that the Trump administration will not squander. And we hope everyone convened here today feels exactly the same. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right. So that was JD Vance's representing the United States on the plans that we have for AI in our country. Getting U.S. Hopefully that there is a way to provide a pathway to some type of training to help people get more into the needs for AI. Because training is important. I train every single day. But I agree with the vice president on the growth and the importance of AI. But it is as long as the people want it, and if you don't want it, then you will be left behind. And it is what it is. It is what it is, right? But let's finish up with the chat for today.
Fell from the clouds, felt the crash. High horse bucked me off the path. Smitten, lost, can't find my way. Below rock bottom, here I'll stay. I was riding, up on that horse. Thought I had it all, no doubts, no remorse. Fell hard, right down below, lower than rock bottom, where dreams don't go. Where do I go from here? Can't see through the fear. I'm lost, I'm scared, tangled up, trying to find my luck. Lost in the shadows, can't find the light. Wandering aimless through endless night. Should've been straight, but I took the curve. Now I'm stuck in this mess with nerve. Broken wings, shattered dreams, echoes of laughter. Now just screams, trying to climb back up the wall. But every step, it's a harder fall. Once high up in the sky so blue, now the ground's the only view. Regrets a heavy chain around my feet, dragging me down into this defeat. I look for answers in the dark, hoping to kindle a single spark, just a spark. But all I find is the cold and the pain, circling around like a never-ending chain. Gotta find a way stuck, tired eyes looking for a sign. Fractured heart, cracked by time. Should've been straight, paid my dues. Now I'm haunted by the blues.